Last night, the Indians made it 2 in a row over the A's as Zach McAllister twirled a gem at Oakland hitters. That was after a second straight strong outing from Ubaldo Jimenez. And now, Justin Masterson has a chance to make it 3 in a row. The Indians right-hander will go for straight A's against Oakland next on Sports Time Ohio. Another beautiful night in downtown Cleveland, Progressive Field, home of the Tribe. It's Game 3 of this 4-game series between the Cleveland Indians and the Oakland Athletics. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians have been on quite a roll of late, and a big reason for that has been their starting pitching. In the last 9 games, the starters are 7-1 with an ERA of 2.50.
And they have been very good on the homestand as well, 5-1. And in the first 2 games of this series, the starting pitching has been outstanding. And Justin Masterson is going to try and follow suit. Jimenez pitched a good game in game number 1. Zach McAllister was very good. Justin Masterson hasn't had a lot of luck against the A's in his career, but he's going to come back out. He needs a win. He hasn't had one in his last 2 starts. You look at his numbers, 1-5 in his career against Oakland. He'll be facing A.J. Griffin, who has never faced the Indians, coming off a great start against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. 7 innings, 6 hits, and did not allow a run.
Should be a good matchup tonight. Indians and the A's Tribe trying to win their 3rd straight home series for the first time in 2 years. As Dribble Cabrera leads the offensive charge, the defense will be ready. Can Justin Masterson pitch the Tribe to a 3rd straight win over Oakland? Find out next.
Rayburn back, makes a catch. Throw down to second, they got him. Wow. Swung out and missed, he got him.
Now the Indians try to keep it rolling here tonight at home against the Oakland Athletics. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Tribe winners in 8 out of 9, 11 of their last 15. Let's quickly take a look at Bob Melvin's starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics. John Jaso in the leadoff spot. Seth Smith batting second. Jed Lowry will hit third. Yoenis Cespedes in the cleanup spot, followed by Brandon Moss. Josh Donaldson will hit sixth. Derek Barton just called up from AAA. He's in the lineup batting seventh. Adam Rosales and then Eric Sogard.
And the big man's ready to go.
Clock says 7:05. Justin said, let's get it on. And his first pitch is right down Broadway for strike one. John Jaso, 2 for 5 in the series. Our game time temperature is 64 degrees, a light breeze blowing in. It's a cool evening, one of our overcast skies. Little ground ball foul, and it will stay that way.
Take a look at the numbers for Justin Masterson on the year. He is 4-2 and an ERA of 3.64. In his last start against Minnesota, went 6 2/3. He was in line for the win. The bullpen gave up the runs. He had a no decision. And his numbers against Oakland in his career, 1-5. He was 0-3 last year.
That's hit out of play. Yeah, you got to hope that that's just, oh, look what I found. Just one of those things, you know, maybe one of those years where he didn't have it against Oakland. Because there's nothing about this lineup that says, oh, it's a bad matchup for Justin.
Right.
Swung on and missed.
Not when you throw sliders
Wow,
like that.
That was wicked. Strikeout number 1 for Masterson, number 43 on the year.
Well, look at the pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker, the slider that has been so good for him this year, especially against left-handed hitters. He can throw it down and in, a back foot slider like that, and he's also been able to backdoor it. So one batter, he has a strikeout.
Here is Seth Smith. And he takes a fastball over the outside corner. High and slicing. And just out of play as Michael Brantley gave it a long look.
Take a look at the Kia Indians defense behind Masterson. Brantley is in left, Stubbs in center, Rayburn in right. Chisenhall back at third base tonight. Cabrera is at short. Kipnis at second, Swisher at first, Santana behind the plate, and they have been playing very solid defense. Just one error in their last 10 games.
John Tumpane is calling the balls and strikes. Paul Nauert is at first. The acting crew chief, Angel Hernandez, at second, and Doug Eddings down at third. A foul back. The count is 0-2 on Smith. Just underway here tonight. That fastball registering 97 miles an hour from Masterson. Now the 2-strike pitch. Another foul back. It's funny when you think of professional sports, just in general terms, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, or whether it's baseball, momentum and how important that can be. And is it real? Is it imagined? What is it exactly? But when you talk about pitching, in particular starting pitching, wow, I think Smith thought he was struck out.
Yeah, he was. I think the umpire was fooled on that one. See, that's what I talked about. He can go back foot slider or the back door slider. That might have been a little bit outside. I take that back. Still a good pitch.
Now the 1-2. Same spot, same situation, 2-2. But with the starters in baseball right now, you think about NBA, you get on a run. In a 20-2 run, you just feed off of that. Well, the starters, 9 games. The starters 7-1 at 2.50 ERA. So they're carrying that momentum and feeding off of each other. Nobody wants to let that momentum stop, and each guy wants to go out and try and pitch better than the guy who pitched the night before.
Yeah, friendly competition.
Let's take a look right now at our keys to the game, and those starting pitchers always hold a big key. And as we talked about, Masterson last year has had a tough time with the A's, but hopefully he can reverse that trend. And A.J. Griffin, he's a guy that usually starts out hot, but you can get to him second time around once you get a look at him. We'll see if that holds true here tonight. Jed Lowry DHing tonight. Lowry, 4 errors committed at shortstop, tied for most among shortstop. Doesn't seem like a lot. 2 balls and a strike. Routine ground ball to second. Jason Kipnis fires it over. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Masterson. The Indians are coming to bat when we come back. All right, the Indians coming to bat here, bottom of the first. Let's look at Terry Francona's starting lineup, brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Brantley leading it off, then Jason Kipnis, who has doubled and homered in the series, as Drupal Cabrera, a couple of homers, bats third. Then it's Swisher, Reynolds, and Santana, Rayburn, Chisenhall, and Stubbs.
7th start of the season for A.J. Griffin. He was 3-2, a .379 earned run average. He's a lot like Malone. He pitches the same at home as he does on the road. .379 ERA at home, .379 on the road.
Michael Brantley looks at a fastball for strike one.
Coming off a good start against the Yankees, where 7 innings, 6 hits, did not allow a run. His first time facing the Indians. And as you mentioned, you go through the lineup the first time, hitters are hitting 143 off him. Second time through, it's up to 417. So, like you say, we'll see what happens. They got to get a look at him first, what that curveball does, and things like that.
There's the curveball, and Brantley bloops it toward left. It's in for a base hit.
Served nicely.
Michael's a quick learner. He doesn't need to wait till the second time through.
Well, he waits on the baseball, and that time it certainly helped him on the slow curveball because he served it out to left field and got it out in front of Smith. That was a good pitch, down and away, outside corner. Didn't try and do much with it. Just took what the pitcher gave him and gets a base hit. Michael, with a day off yesterday, comes right back and gets into the fold, baby, with a base hit.
3 for 6 now in the series. Jason Kipnis has swung the bat well in the series, and in particular on the homestand. He's gone 10 for 31 on the homestand with 2 triples, a double, 2 homers. He has scored 5 and driven in 7. Upstairs. Off to a hot start to the month of May. Hard ground ball, backhanded by Barton, goes to second. There's one. The pitcher couldn't get there, though. Kipnis beats him down to the bag, so a fielder's choice. He races Brantley. I don't know. I wasn't looking to see if Griffin was slow to get off the mound. He just wasn't there.
No, he was slow to get off the mound. Let's check the A's defense behind Griffin tonight. Smith in left, Cespedes in center, Moss is in right. Donaldson at third, Rosales gets the start at short, Sogard at second, Barton is at first with John Jaso doing the catching. Watch him get off the mound. You got to go as soon as that ball's hit, and he was a tad late. And I don't know if you were going to get Kipnis anyway. It's a tough double play because Rosales would have had to lead him over to first base, and that's tough to do.
Now is Drupal Cabrera. Fouls it right back. Cabrera with an RBI in 6 of his last 9 games. Lifts this one high in the air on the infield. Backpedaling is the third baseman Donaldson. Gives way to the shortstop Rosales. And that's out number 2. So Nick Swisher will bat here with 2 down and a runner at first in the first. The Indians have done a great job of swinging the bats in these last 9 games that they have been rolling. I mean, they've been hitting a lot of home runs, lead the league in that department. But Terry Francona thought it was interesting. He said, I think maybe you guys, meaning the writers, are getting more carried away with the homers than we are. What we care about is scoring runs and winning, however we do it. Some nights it might be a home run. Some nights it could be a ball in the dirt and a guy moves up on a base hit. That's really what I care about. And you think about last night. It was 2 errors, a base hit, and a sac fly, the only run of the game.
Right, an unearned run. But you know what? I know what he's talking about because you can't live by the home run ball because you can certainly die by it.
Well, Nick Swisher tried to make a living on it here in the first. Moss back on the track, and it dies in his glove. Front edge of the warning track. No runs a hit, a man left after 1, no score. McDonald's new Premium McWrap. Try one today. And by Kia. Yoenis Cespedes will lead off this second inning for the Oakland Athletics. He has gone 2 for 7 in the series with a home run. He hits one high in the air, shallow right. In comes Ryan Rayburn. And a routine play for out number 1. Here's our injury report tonight, brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Well, you had to figure there was something wrong with Josh Reddick. A .152 average, just one homer in 29 games played this year. Well, it's a sprained right wrist that he's been dealing with, trying to play through, but just wasn't working. So they placed him on the DL and called up Derek Barton, who is starting and batting seventh tonight. Brandon Moss looks at a ball outside. It's 2-0. Hit in the air to center. And on a dead sprint, Stubbs runs it down again. If it doesn't go over the fence, I'm not sure you can hit it over his head.
That's the way it's supposed to be. He should be able to cover the ground between you and that wall.
Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. And this is what I was talking about when you talk about momentum. Each guy feeding off of the next. You have to take your hat off to these starting pitchers, how well they have pitched and effectively.
Those are the basic numbers there, but also throw in their 65% strikes, 40% counts of 0-2-1-2, where they're controlling the count, the situation on the hitter, and expanding the zone. That is really one of the keys to pitching, and they've been terrific at it.
Good pitch. Really had him bailing. It's 0-2.
Again, look up at the scoreboard. It's 0-2. You know, and you talk about that friendly competition when you go through the rotation. When one pitcher, starter's sitting there watching the game, and he's got a day or he's pitching in another couple days, they watch and they see the counts. They see everything that's going on. They'll talk to the guys, how'd you do it, or what's going on, and your approach.
Well, baseball being a game built on statistics, it's simple math. On the numbers you just gave me, if 4 out of every 9 hitters you're facing, you're 0-2-1-2,
there's a pretty good chance you're going
to have success, I would think.
No question.
Swung on and missed. Donaldson strikes out, and the A's go 1-2-3. Masterson has struck out 2 through 2. Bottom of the second inning for the Indians, it will be Mark Reynolds, Carlos Santana, and Ryan Rayburn. Been a great homestand for the Indians. They came into this homestand. Remember, the first homestand was brutal. Just call it like it was. It was brutal. The weather was awful. The The Yankees took it to them early, and then you had the Red Sox, the White Sox, 2-6. So the Indians came into this homestand just 2-6 at home. And now they've played so well that they pushed their record over 500 at home. One down is Reynolds, a sky-high pop to right.
Well, yeah, you want to make a statement at home and play good baseball and get into it and have some magic when you come home. And they're back. They're 8-7 at home, 8-7 on the road. This team's starting to get a little bit of confidence. They're playing together. They're having a lot of fun, and it is fun. It's fun to watch.
Pitches outside, ball one. And Santana taking a strike. He looks back at John Tumpane. And that fastball just misses. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, it looked like Santana he wanted to maybe bunt that ball down the third baseline, but he pounded him inside. And Oakland pitching, they have done that in the series. Griffin, a guy, he doesn't mess around. He gets the ball, he gets back on the rubber, he gets ready to throw it.
Curveball fouled away by Santana.
Something came off.
Yeah, was that the thumb guard?
It might have been.
A little piece of,
yeah,
sure
thumb
was.
donut. I saw something. I thought it might have been a cupped end and a piece of the bat came off, but no, his top hand came off the bat and that thumb donut went for a ride.
In the dirt, full count. Ryan Rayburn waiting on deck. Griffin's payoff pitch. And Santana sky high, foul territory. Donaldson near the railing makes the catch. 2 down.
MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Indians baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com.
Ryan Rayburn with 2 down here. So last year there were 21 games postponed due to weather for the whole year. That's how many we've had.
We had that in April, did we?
How about the Tigers and Nationals? Rained out last night. They're trying to play today. They're in a rain delay today. They've already rescheduled yesterday's game for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a rough spring all over.
0-2 pitch, low and away. The Indians will head to Detroit for the weekend. Sounds like the weather's going to be a little iffy this weekend in terms of temperature.
Well, you look at all the teams in the Central. Detroit's played 30 games. We've played 30. Kansas City 29. Minnesota 29.
Ryan Rayburn strikes out, and the Indians go 1-2-3. 2 innings in the books, no score. No score. Bottom third of the Oakland order coming up here. It'll be Derek Barton, Adam Rosales, and Eric Sogard. Barton getting the call up today to take the spot of Josh Reddick, who was put on the DL. In 29 games this year at Sacramento, you see the numbers.
Well,
Barton has got some serious moss under that chin.
Yeah, starring in the hit series Axemen.
You watch that, do you?
No, I've seen highlights for it, though.
2 balls and a strike. Barton in his career, a .249 hitter, parts of 6 years with the A's. No, I've never grown a beard, or not anything like that. If you're going to shave that off, what?
How
you
would
don't do that at
go
home, do
about
you?
it? Well, sure you do. You start trimming it, getting scissors, I guess, and trim it down. I've never had a beard like that. I don't think I could grow one like that.
The 2-2, way outside of full count. You don't just break out a can of Gillette Foamy and
No. Get the weed eater. Wait till the landscapers come over.
Now the payoff pitch. And it's low. And the A's have their first base runner of the ball game. Had a chance to catch up with Terry Francona between innings. Terry, the starting pitching has been outstanding last 9 games. These guys seem to be feeding off of each other. What are you seeing in terms of momentum one night to the next?
Oh, boy, I hope so. I mean, as I'm getting bombarded here. Again, when you get pitching, you give yourself a chance to win every night. And I hope it lasts for not just tonight, tomorrow, or a week, but for years.
Especially 4 years, right?
Good point, Arch.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, do you have an update on Michael Bourne? Will he be ready to go maybe this weekend if everything goes well today?
Bourne is going to play 9 innings tonight, and then we're going to reevaluate him after the game. There's a chance to see him in the next couple days.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Skipper.
All right, guys.
How about Mike Aviles in the background jump?
That's what happens when you don't play every day. You know what he does? You know why he does that? So Francona gets so sick of him on the bench, he has to put him in the lineup.
There you go, right. Was that the approach of Wayne Kirby and Alvaro Espinosa back in the day?
Yeah, but they couldn't get in.
They still couldn't get in the lineup.
Yeah, they'd mess with the players. They wouldn't mess with Grover.
Look at Mike. Oh, my. Adam Rosales squares the bunt, pulls it back. 2-1 to count. Rosales has had some success swinging the bat against the Tribe. In 35 career at-bats, he has a dozen hits against Indians pitching. Question is he hitting or bunting? 2-1. Taking. It's 2-2.
Well, Masterson can't be a fun guy to try and bunt off of the way his ball moves. And I think, after Walker, the leadoff guy, he's probably trying to make him get in the strike zone a little bit.
Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. That's 3 punch-outs for the Indians right-hander. 1 down in the third.
There's the movement, and he just challenged him with the fastball. Rosales swings over the top of it.
Eric Sogard. He takes a called strike. Sogard in his last 13 games batting just .129.
We talked about Griffin, how his numbers skew up the second time through the lineup. Well, for Justin Masterson, it's the opposite. The first time through the lineup, he's 346. The second time's 145. With 7 out of 9 first pitch strikes like that.
And now the count quickly 1-2. Sogard, another product of Arizona State. The 1-2 pitch. And that is down the line, but slicing out of play. Now the 1-2. Got him looking. Justin Masterson with his 4th strikeout of the night. Back-to-back Ks here in the 3rd. And there are 2 down now.
It's the first one called, and that's going inside with this fastball. You know, he usually goes away with it. That's a great pitch. It has come back to it. I like that with 2 strikes to the left-handers as long as you get it in there. Because he showed he would come in there with the breaking ball but not the fastball, and he gets a 4th strikeout.
Pitches outside. Jaso from Northern California, near the Oregon border. Hard bouncing ball to second. Jason Kipnis takes care of that. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, still scoreless in Cleveland. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Home half of the 3rd inning here at Progressive Field. No score. Lonnie Chisenhall, Drew Stubbs, Michael Brantley do up. And a fastball at the knees over the outside corner. Lonnie Chisenhall taking the last couple of days off to work on a swing in the batting cage.
It's just getting refocused again, I think. You know, you're a young hitter, you get out there and you can fall into some bad habits.
Francona said after the game on Sunday, they told Lonnie, look, we just want you to take 2 days, get in a cage with hitting coach Ty Van Berkeley, and just hit until your heart is content, in his words. Just hit, and don't worry about the game kind of hanging over your head.
Right, and Lonnie's a fastball hitter, and he hasn't been hitting the fastball, and that's where you have to make your money, is hitting the fastball. He's been late on it and tardy, and so.
Think maybe too much thinking?
It could be. I don't know that for sure, but it certainly could be.
In the air to right, Moss will make the catch. One away. Let's take a look at tonight's AT&T trivia question. Since 1968, 5 A's players have had 3 consecutive seasons of 30 or more home runs. Who are those 5 A's players with 3 straight years of 30 or more home runs? There's a called strike. Now the 2-strike delivery, and Stubbs with a line drive base hit. That's in the gap. Moss on his horse cuts it off quickly. He knows the kind of speed Stubbs has. He's got to get to it. He does. And Drew's aboard with a 1-out single here in the third.
For Griffin, not a good 0-2 pitch. He got ahead of him quickly, but left this pitch elevated, the fastball up. And watch how easy it is for Stubbs. He takes it the other way. Didn't have to work at it. Good swing, not a good pitch. So, second hit now for the Indians. A 1-out single for Stubbs.
Drew has 4 stolen bases on the year, and this A's catching crew has had their troubles throwing out runners. Jaso has thrown out 1 of 12. I gave you the numbers last night. Derek Norris was, I think, 1 out of 11.
Well, a lot of it, when you're back there, sometimes has to do with your pitcher, and how they hold the runners and control the running game. It looks like Griffin is pretty quick to the plate.
Stubbs had a pretty big lead, and I don't know if it was footing or just caught off balance, but he had a tough time getting back.
Well, you're going to have to get an idea of his move over there. You see, it's almost he jumped and did a spin move. Yeah, wow. It's almost like a bug. He's saying, you know what he's doing? He's saying,
it's like a
watch
jump
that
spin.
front. Yeah, it is. And you have to step to first. It's almost like that front leg bends a little bit. And if you're looking at that, he comes to first base, but 2 times. Let's look at it from this angle. See that front leg is sort of bend a little bit? Once you do that, you're supposed to go to home plate. He's going to be tough. And he took off. He was running.
Brantley will be thrown out, 2 down.
Well, for all you folks out there, the first fireworks show of the season will take place May 17th. We get back home from this road trip. After an off day, the Indians will take on the Seattle Mariners. You catch the post-game fireworks set to the music of the Beatles. So get your tickets. Go to Indians.com. The first of many to come. They love Friday nights, don't they? Fireworks shows.
Runner at second with 2 down for Jason Kipnis. And it pitches upstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, you look at this. Both hits today. Brantley and Stubbs came off 0-2 pitches.
And there's a called strike to even the count. Jason Kipnis has 11 runs batted in now on the year, and 7 of those 11 have come on this homestand. And he's looking for more right here. Back foul, 1-2.
Well, this guy, he's not afraid. That fastball, 90 miles an hour, which is, average, but he gets it inside. Second time through the lineup, you can see, gets up to 417, but changeup, curveball, works quickly.
Missed up and in with the fastball there. It's 2-2. Any ball that gets through the infield should score Drew Stubbs from second base with his speed.
Yeah, when you got a guy on second base, 2 outs on a base hit, the guys that can run like that, you send them. It's automatic. They're going.
2-2. In the dirt, gets away. Stubbs easily gets to third on the wild pitch. Looked like Jaso did everything he could. But once it caromed to his left, Stubbs just took off.
It's a little easier to read from second base, too, once it deflects to the left or the right because you can see it. You're straight on. And Stubbs realized it was going to get away far enough where he would be able to get to third base.
And a 3-2 count for Kipnis with Asdrubal Cabrera waiting on deck. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. So the inning comes to an end. The Indians get a runner to third, can't get him home. We stay scoreless through 3. Located beyond the center field fence. Later this summer, we'll see the inductions of Carlos Baerga and John Hart.
Correct. We're also going to have the opportunity in August to celebrate Rocky Colavito's 80th birthday.
I think that's a pretty neat deal, especially for the fans who cheered him, back in the 60s,
yeah.
Were kids
Absolutely.
when he played. And a ground ball almost backhanded by Chisenhall with the shift on, but Seth Smith going the other way. And the A's have their first hit of the night, leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row.
He really took off after that first pitch to go into the hole, and he got burned on his right-hand side. You don't even see him in your picture. They almost had 4 guys on that side of the infield. So Smith gets a base hit, first hit for Oakland tonight.
Jed Lowry bounced out to second his first time up. Lowry has been scuffling at the plate in his last 15 games, just a 186 average. And only 1 RBI in those last 15 games. Smokes this one up the middle, and it's by Kipnis. So the A's come out swinging here in the 4th with back-to-back base hits.
Well, they knew that first time through he's throwing a lot of strikes, so they want to be aggressive early that second time through, and they've been successful. At least in this inning, you get a fastball out over the plate. Lowry stays on it, gets it past Kipnis, so back-to-back singles just out of the reach. One of Chisenhall, the other of Kipnis. That's the first runner that Oakland has had at second base since the top of the 9th inning in Monday's game.
Yeah, the Indians combined to really shut them down offensively last night. Even when they got a base runner late, they tried to steal a base, and Yan Gomes cut down the would-be base stealer late. The 1-0 to Yoenis Cespedes, bounce towards short. Cabrera goes to second. There's one, and that's all they get. Cespedes runs very well, and that was more of a bounding ball towards short. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Zach McAllister with just a terrific performance. All told, he went 7 2/3, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 67% strikes. And he had that little wry smile walking off because he told me today that last strikeout was with that new split finger pitch that he's been working on.
That was his first one on that
It was
pitch?
the first strikeout he got with that pitch, yeah.
Well, let's hope that was a breakout start for Zach because he was very dominant and he was fun to watch pitch last night. And he likes going deep into the game, and this kid could be coming into his own.
Brandon Moss flied to deep center his first time up. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down and in. Brandon Moss. 200-point difference in batting average so far this year, home and road.
He likes the road, huh?
385 on the road, $184 at home.
Yeah, you can't explain it. We've tried for years. You think, why don't guys hit better at home? They should feel comfortable, but it changes from year to year. Sometimes you hit better at home. Sometimes you hit better on the road. You can't figure it out.
Broken bat, fouled out to the left. The barrel went to the right and into the crowd, but everybody appears to be okay. You can see a fan sitting with the bat.
That thing went. And he's still got a piece of the handle in his hand. The ball goes down the left field line. The barrel of the bat goes down the right field line and over their dugout. And I'm talking about probably 6, 7 rows deep. Look, he's looking at the ball. Now he's trying to find the barrel of the bat. Look what's left in his hand. Little toothpick.
That's amazing sometimes. I mean, remember, who did we just see that? Was that earlier in this series? The ball went left field, the barrel went right field?
We did see it earlier. I'm not sure what game.
2-2. Another chop foul. There's a line drive, base hit into right field, and that'll give the A's a 1-0 lead. Seth Smith scores. Brandon Moss with his 20th run batted in on the year. 3rd hit in the inning for Oakland. All 3 have been singles.
And they've all been hit right on the button. This is a breaking ball that I don't think he got him with a breaking ball last time, but watch this one, stayed middle. A little flat. He stayed back on it nicely and drilled it into right field. So Oakland will draw first blood today.
Up and away, ball one to Josh Donaldson, a strikeout victim his first time up. This guy has been tough in the clutch, even though he's struggled offensively of late, like so many of the A's hitters, but still owns the fourth best batting average in the American League with a runner in scoring position at .444. All the way to the backstop, and the runners move up, so now he's got a pair in scoring position.
Well, that's the 18th wild pitch for the Indians this year. That's tied for the league lead, and this one got that slider. Santana can't get the glove to it. Goes to the back, so they move up. Still with just one out. Now they better get on the same page and know what's coming.
Long conversation at the mound. Santana and Masterson have it wrapped up now.
Well, give me time to wish a happy 65th wedding anniversary to Art and Sonia Sweet Eye of Damascus, Ohio. 65 years. Congratulations, Art and Sonia, and a happy anniversary.
Yes, indeed. Now the 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Good breaking ball. Drops it in there. And the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With runners at second and third and 1 out here in the fourth. Miguel Cabrera,
in his own world.
535.
He is in his own world, isn't he?
Swing and a miss. He gets the strikeout already, his 5th of the night. And 2 down here in the fourth as Masterson now tries to minimize the damage.
Well, after that wild pitch, he needed a strikeout, and he certainly comes back and gets it.
Our Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. So far in the month of May, Indians one of the best ERAs in the league. And the funny thing about the White Sox being at 209 is their inability to score right now. White Sox have one of the worst batting averages in the American League. So they can't take advantage of the great pitching that they've been getting. Right back up the middle. This is going to get 1 home as Cespedes scores. Moss on his heels coming home. He'll score 2. So Derek Martin with a clutch 2-out, 2-run single to center gives Oakland now a 3-0 advantage.
Big 2-out hit. That's what Oakland needed to get them a little confidence in this series.
And it's the new guy that gets it.
Yeah, the guy that just comes up, gets called up today, gets inserted into the lineup, goes right back up the middle. A big 2-out hit. It's a 3-run 4th inning for Oakland. And it's 4 hits in the inning.
Adam Rosales struck out his first time up.
Ouch.
Hit him on the elbow, and he'll take his base.
That's the 5th guy he's hit this year. That hurt. For Masterson, you remember, he got off to such a great start. In his first 3 starts, he was 3-0 and had an ERA of .41. As you're going to see this ball get away, and he got underneath it, and it gets him right on the hip. In his last 4 starts, he is 1-2, and his ERA is up over, it's about 6.5.
Eric Sogard called out on strikes. His first time up tonight. And that's out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 down with 2 aboard here in this 4th inning. Sogard, the 8th man to bat for Oakland. And a little half swing, got a piece of it. Now Masterson deals. And a hard ground ball backhanded by Cabrera. Goes to second. Kipnis beats him to the bag for the inning-ending force. But Oakland gets on the board with 3 in the 4th, and they lead it 3-0.
A Block C rally cap courtesy of Strickland's Frozen Custard. The Seattle Mariners will be in town on Saturday, so that'll be fireworks Friday. A rally cap on Saturday. That's May 18th. Get your tickets early. Go to Indians.com.
Well, A.J. Griffin will be facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters here in inning number 4.
And they need a rally cap. Oakland scoring 3 in the top half of this inning.
Yeah, A.J. Griffin has something that no Oakland pitcher has had in this series so far, and that's a lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy, that first time through, he got ahead with the fastball, and he went a nice curveball and some change-ups. And now the second time through, where usually he's been hit, he started Cabrera off there, change-up.
There's a long fly ball to left, but back is Smith. And he makes the catch, 1 away. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, Pat McManaman says that there's a lot to like about this Indians ball club. The winningest coach in college football history is stepping down. And is Josh Cribbs coming back to the Browns? Complete coverage on FoxSportsOhio.com. Nick Swisher flied to right his first time up. That was with 2 outs in the first inning. And just judging by the reaction of Swish on that swing, it's one of those balls where he hit it good, but he just missed it in terms of hitting it, maybe 15 rows deep into the seats.
He knows. The hitter pretty much knows when he hits one, and Swisher's hit enough of them to know if he gets it good enough to get out of there.
Take a look back. Watch his reaction.
Yep.
One ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball.
Yes, he did.
They appeal. He went around, says Doug Eddings, and there are 2 down. Third strikeout for A.J. Griffin.
Yeah, you can see that good curveball. He was fooled on it. He started. He just couldn't hold up. There's your side view. No question.
A.J. Griffin was a 34th round pick of the Pirates back in 2009. And he said, I think I can do better. So he stayed in school at the University of San Diego, became a first-team West Coast Conference pitcher as a senior, and then bumped himself up to the 13th round of the draft, and that's where Oakland got him in 2010. Two down here in the fourth. Mark Reynolds flied to right his first time up. Checks it's a little bit outside. A.J. Griffin. His given name is Arthur Joseph, but he says, only my mom calls me that, and only when she's mad.
And nobody else is allowed to call me that. Only when she's mad.
Called a strike over the outside corner.
Now he's featuring a little slider. So he's got the 4-pitch mix.
The 2-2. Breaking ball. Got him looking. And that's 4 strikeouts for Griffin. The Indians go 1-2-3 for the second time tonight. The wireless receiver only from AT UVerse. Rethink possible. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Panini's with 19 locations in Northeast Ohio. Three 0 Oakland on top. And now here in the fifth inning, John Jaso leading it off. He's 0 for 2. Bouncer to first. Swisher the flip. And that's out number 1.
Well, when you look at Justin last inning, you're going to see he's staying a little too much in the middle part of the plate. That was a good pitch. But you're going to see here, elevated, and it had a little too much of the plate. That one, a breaking ball that stayed up there, gave him a little swinging room. And Barton with the 2-out base hit. So he's got to get back to the edges.
Well, consider this. That 3 runs scored by Oakland is the first multi-run inning allowed by Indians pitchers since Trevor Plouffe hit that 2-run homer on Sunday in the top of the second inning, span of 29 innings.
Yeah.
Smith was trying to beat the shift with a bunt. He beat it last time up by taking a ball to the opposite side of the infield. Normally that shift is on for guys that they don't feel can really do that, but he looked pretty good taking it the other way his first time up.
Well, on the first pitch, though, Chisenhall was over more in the hole, and then once that first pitch was there, then he scooted back to where he is at now.
He continues to
now
move
he's
around
moving
a
back because there's 2 strikes.
Just over the outside edge, but a bit wide of the mark. 2-2. Masterson lets it fly, and it's chopped into the glove of Nick Swisher on the big bounce. 2 away. Back to the Hyundai Studios we go for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Rick. Let's go to Baltimore. The Royals and the O's tonight. Baltimore on the board first here in the bottom of the second inning. J.J. Hardy, a 2-run homer, his 6th of the year, put Baltimore ahead 2-0. It's now 2-1. Royals have added a run in the 5th. They're still in the 5th at Camden Yards. Matt?
Thanks, Al. And just to update the video that he showed us last night of Jay Happ when he was struck in the head on that line drive down in St. Pete against Tampa Bay. He has been released from the hospital. He was upgraded to good condition.
That's good news.
Yeah, really good news. He sustained a head bruise and a cut to his left ear. He's on the 15-day DL. But he says he's in good spirits, and that's very encouraging.
If you're ever at a ball game and you see something like that, it's really a scary situation. Aaron Sebia was behind the plate and said that's the worst thing he's ever seen, and he's just looking back as the hitter hit the ball.
Terry Francona said today, anytime you see that, it doesn't matter what uniform you're wearing, it takes your breath away. And, it's just, unfortunately, it is part of the danger of the business. And there's been talk about outfitting pitchers with a kind of hard-shelled type helmet, but it's probably unrealistic. And this is the video last night, and again, it's hard to see.
How many times do we see close calls? Where guys get a glove up or they deflect it or it just goes by their head. I mean, that happens a lot. It doesn't happen as much as you think it would.
Well, we saw it happen to David Huff, and I thought he was seriously hurt. The way that
ball
went out
into the right field.
Yeah, and he came out of it pretty good shape, all things considered. But Terry Francona was being asked about it today, and I thought he put it well. He said there is no perfect answer. There's no perfect solution. It's hard to see. It's certainly something that people are concerned about, but there's no easy solution to just fixing it. Off the end of the bat, a little cue shot to first, and Nick Swisher won't have an easier play than that one. Middle of the 5th, Oakland 3, Cleveland nothing. Bottom of the fifth, the Indians down 3-0. Carlos Santana, Ryan Rayburn, Lonnie Chisenhall coming up.
The Indians with only 2 hits tonight through the first 4 innings. Both of those hits on 0-2 pitches.
Carlos Santana fouled out his first time up. He's 0 for 7 in the series. One of the few times we've seen him go hitless for 7 at-bats all year long. Two balls, no strikes. In addition to the story about Jay Happ, other injury news of importance, especially because the Indians will be going to Philadelphia for a 2-game series next week. Roy Halladay will have arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder. It's about as non-invasive a procedure as they could hope for. They're going to repair a bone spur, clean up the labrum, the rotator cuff. He's saying that possibly he's been told by doctors he could be back in 3 months. But who knows? The good news, I guess, if you're a Phillies fan, if you're a Roy Halladay fan, it doesn't look like they're going to have to cut the thing open, and when you're talking 12 to 18 months kind of a deal.
Yeah, shoulders are the tough thing. Yeah, well, I guess if there's any good news, that is good news. Even though he is going to have surgery.
Ryan Rayburn struck out his first time up. Takes ball 1 down low. With more on Rayburn, here's Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, his bat may not be as hot lately, but he's still coming up with a hit the last couple of nights. He told me what's been key for him, even though he may not be out there every single night, is preparing like he is. He's in the cages doing the same 3 hitting drills that have to deal with timing and direction every day with Van Berkelio. And Ty, the hitting coach, told me the key with Ryan's swing is not only does he have really, really quick hands, but he's got that short swing that works so well coming off the bench.
Well, and that short swing, all those things you talked about, they have played really well early in the season for the Indians. 4 homers, 11 runs batted in, 6 doubles.
Yeah, when you're not playing every day, the harder you have to work to stay sharp, to keep yourself ready to go, whatever it takes. But he's been fortunate enough. He's been in the lineup a lot. When Swisher was out, now that he's back at first base. Rayburn's still getting some time. But, that could be coming to an end if Michael Bourne gets out here, because Stubbs will go back to right field. Bourne will go to center.
It could, or I'm just thinking out, let me play amateur manager. The way he's swinging the bat, do you just ride the hot horse and play him in right field? Or do you go to the bench and put Drew Stubbs on the bench for a little while and have him come off?
Well, that's what he's getting paid for. We'll have to ask Terry and see what happens when Bourne comes off.
Rayburn draws a walk, so the Indians get 2 free passes to start the inning. This is huge, a big opportunity to take advantage of some wildness for the first time in the game. That's going to bring Oakland pitching coach Kurt Young out of the dugout.
Yeah, they'll certainly take that, because usually the second time through, we told you the numbers, a .417 batting average. They don't have a hit yet. So they'll take the free passes.
Hey, tune in after Indians Live following the game for Chuck's Last Call. Chuck Coletti will take your calls on tonight's game and get you the latest information on what's happening in Cleveland sports. Chuck's Last Call tonight after Indians Live on Sports Time, Ohio. Lonnie Chisenhall flied to right his first time up. He's in a big spot here with 2 on, nobody out. Tribe down 3 in the 5th. In on the grass at third, Josh Donaldson. And Chisenhall takes outside, ball 1. Donaldson backing up a couple of steps, but he's still in on the grass at third as Lonnie fouls it. Oh, man, a fan tried to grab that on the bounce, and now they're shaking their hand. The 1-1. Broke his bat.
Oh.
It gets by the pitcher. And now the third baseman, Donaldson, slips and falls, and everybody's safe. That's about as seeing eye a single as you will ever see.
How about another barrel went into the right field bleachers, or over the dugout. He still had a piece in his hand. Second time tonight. Now that ball's fair, and you can see Griffin diving after it, and then all of a sudden Donaldson slips. That is a huge break right there, just out of his reach. Good effort on his part. He wanted to catch that ball in the air. In comes Donaldson. It'll go as an infield single, and the Indians have the inning set up. There's bases loaded and nobody out.
Wow.
That was strange. That is what you call a seeing eye hit right there.
A seeing eye dog single. They're loaded up for Drew Stubbs, who had a base hit his first time up. Now a slow chopper to third. Bare hand grab. Throw to the plate. They get the force there. And so there's one out in the fifth as Santana is forced at home.
His only play was coming home. You got the force out. You just have to give Jaso a good feed, and he had to throw it over the shoulder of Santana. But he steps on the plate, only able to get one there because it wasn't hit hard enough, so they get the first one.
And now Michael Brantley 1 for 2 on the night.
Base hit here would get the crowd into it because they'd get on the board.
Brantley singled to left his first time up, bounced to short in the third. And a chance to drive in some runs here as he takes a strike. Michael has 10 RBIs so far on the year.
Ball.
6 out of 21 in scoring position. Bouncing ball to second, could be 2. Sogard gets 1. Here's the throw to first in the dirt. Brantley beats it out. Ball gets away, and the Indians will score a pair. So the Indians take advantage as Oakland tried to turn 2, and the Indians get a second run, and they close the gap to 3-2.
Well, it looked like a double play ball. Brantley busting it to beat it out to get that one run home. And on the throw, Rosales short hops Barton over there. He goes for the long stretch to try for the double play. It gets by him. And now a second run will score. So that'll be a fielder's choice and an error on the throw back to first base. That allowed Chisenhall to come in and score. So the Indians get 2. Not pretty, but they get it.
Kipnis taking. A little bit high, ball 1.
It was the error that cost Oakland last night to allow their only run to score, and they give the Indians another one tonight. That's their 22nd error.
What a strange inning, though, because, Griffin seemed to be cruising along, walks the first 2 hitters of the inning. Then you get the little crazy seeing eye bloop on the infield to load him up. And then they compound the inning with the error. Now Kipnis pops it foul out of play. The Indians once again in the 5th inning. That's been their magic inning this year.
Well, it's been a lucky inning, so maybe that is their lucky inning this year, number 5.
They've scored 34 runs in the 5th, by far their most productive inning.
They have 2 runs in and haven't hit a ball out of the infield. And have 1 single, and that was Chisenhall's seeing eye hit. So that's a lucky inning.
Kipnis sends a fly ball right field. Back is Moss, and he will make the catch. And so the Indians get a couple. And it's a 1-run game at 3-2. Well, the Indians have closed it to a one-run game at 3-2. For Oakland, Brandon Moss, Josh Donaldson, Derek Barton coming up. Justin Masterson, 81 pitches so far tonight. 50 of those have been strikes. And after the wild fourth inning, he came right back and pitched well in the fifth. Did walk a batter, but other than that, Oakland 3 weak ground ball outs. Brandon Moss had an RBI single in the fourth. Lifts one in the air to center field. Drew Stubbs will make the catch. One away. Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, and this was the RBI single by Brandon Moss that made it 1-0 Oakland. And then the 2-out, 2-run single by Derek Barton made it 3-0. But the Tribe responds in the fifth. Michael Brantley grounds into the fielder's choice, but as Oakland tried to turn two, they threw it away, and the Indians plating a couple of runs to close the gap to 3-2. Josh Donaldson has struck out twice tonight. 2 for 8 in the series. That's upstairs. Donaldson in that 2 for 8 has struck out 4 times in all. Broke his bat, and Masterson did good to jump out of the way of the barrel as it came right back at him. Jumped over the pitching rubber, and Justin just jumped up in the air.
What's going on here tonight? And it's a good thing that he didn't have to get over there and cover, because he wouldn't have been able to do it. He saw the barrel head coming at him. So let's get out of the way. See, he sees it. He's got to hurdle that. Swisher able to make the play because it was close to the line, so he goes down on a slide, gets up, and steps on first. He's had a few of those tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
2 quick outs. That's 3 unassisted putouts for Nick. Slider over the outside corner. And it's quickly 0-2. Same pitch, rings him up. Masterson with a half-dozen Ks. The A's go 1-2-3. They lead it by a run. Three-2, Oakland leads it as we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera, Nick Swisher, and Mark Reynolds coming up for the Tribe. Cabrera 0 for 2. Swisher 0 for 2. Reynolds 0 for 2. And Griffin starting Cabrera out with an off-speed pitch.
Well, he set up the last inning for the Indians, walking the first two guys in the inning, Santana and Rayburn. I mean, he was in total command and with the strike zone up until that through the first 4.
Ripped foul.
Although that second time through the lineup, the Indians only had 1 hit off of him. And that was supposed to be his turn through the lineup where he has given it up in the past, but he certainly did not.
Line drive, right field, right at Moss, 1 away. Well, after he walked the first 2, Lonnie Chisenhall broke his bat, and it just found a perfect spot to land. So they load him up. And after a fielder's choice, bases were still loaded with 1 out. They try to turn 2. They throw it away, and the Indians score 2 runs.
Rosales really never got his feet set. He was on the run trying to throw that ball, and he spiked it into the ground, and that ended up giving him an extra run.
And then Jason Kipnis, like Nick Swisher in the first, hit it well, but you could tell just missed.
Well, the ball's not carrying as well tonight as it has been, you know, the last few nights. But the wind's blowing in a little bit. It's a little cooler. But these pitchers have kept it off the barrel part of the bat as well.
Outside he missed. 1-1 to count. Fastball up and away. Griffin comes as advertised. A supremely confident, very laid back composure.
California man.
He sure is. And Swisher sends one high in the air. Deep center. Cespedes back. He's out of room. It's out of here. Nick Swisher's 4th home run of the year has tied the game at 3.
He got that one. You could tell by the sound of the bat. He barreled that one up. And that's only the 2nd home run that Griffin has given up to a left-hander. So we have a brand new ball game on the solo shot by Nick Swisher. High fastball up out over the plate. He's been pitching using that pitch on the inside part of the plate. He left that one out, and Swisher extends the arms. And there you'll see it. Into the seats as a souvenir.
So just like that, the Indians use the long ball, their calling card so far this year. And they tie it up. Reynolds, a towering pop. The third baseman Donaldson never saw it. Now he finds it and hangs on near the railing.
You talk about staying with it. That's how high that ball was. He lost it. He didn't see it for a while. And then he stayed with it. He picked it back up, got over to the tarp, and he had time to make the play. Look at it. I don't see it. I don't see it. There it is. Rosales was coming over. Look at that ball. That had some hang time. Puts it away.
Nick Swisher hitting the Indians' 45th home run of the year. We are tied at 3 as Carlos Santana steps to the plate and looks at a ball down low. Popped him up behind the plate. Jaso, and that's going to get pushed right back into the seats. Santana awaiting the 1-1. Takes a little bit low. Fastball just below the knees. Swisher's home run 406 feet away. And now Santana tees off. Deep center. Cespedes looking up. Goodbye. Into the Indians bullpen. Another multi-homer inning for the Tribe as they have come back to take a 4-3 lead. Santana's 7th home run on the year, his 15th run batted in.
Well, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Another home run, and it's almost on the exact same pitch. A fastball that's running away. It stayed out. It gave Carlos some swinging room, and he did a lot of damage. So now the Indians will take the lead. It'll be 4-3 on 2 solo home runs here in the 6th.
It's the 10th time this year they've hit more than 1 home run in an inning. They did it 9 times all of last year.
Yeah, well, that's a different team, boy. They can hit homers. Look at, he got it going. He's enjoying the ride.
No. Now Brian Rayburn bounces one to short, and the inning is over. But the Tribe with a couple of long balls here in the 6th. Swisher to center. Santana follows suit. 4-3 Cleveland. Get a look in at Progressive Field from our Panini Cam. Brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. Adam Rosales, Eric Sogard, John Jaso due up for Oakland here in the 7th. Justin Masterson set him down 1-2-3 in the 6th. And there's a foul ball over to the right side. Masterson had one rough inning, and that was in the 4th. He allowed 4 hits. They were all singles, and the A's played it 3 runs.
Basically left the ball, on too much of the plate in that one inning. The first hit was he hit a good pitch, but after that, the other 3 were too much of the plate.
Swing and a miss, pulled the string on him. The ball just has such wicked movement sometimes. Justin Masterson has struck out 7. Well, let's take a look at him on the AT&T U-verse Rewind.
Slider down and in. There's a good two-seamer. Yeah, look at the movement. There's another breaking ball. Tough pitch to hit when you're a left-handed hitter and that guy starts that breaking ball off the plate and it comes back in and gets the outside corner.
Fouled over toward the Oakland dugout. Slowly bounced up the first baseline. Foul. What it must do to a pitcher's psyche to know, boy, you have a bad inning, you give up 3 runs, it's 3-0, and then your offense comes right back. Puts 2 on the board, and then 2 more on the board, and now you've got the lead.
But you notice what it did to him once they scored the 2. He went out 1-2-3,
yeah,
and he comes right back, and he gives that offense another opportunity, and the offense says, okay, let's go. Here's our chances. The big 0 after, you score.
No response runs.
Right.
Swisher flags it down.
Nice
Perfect
play.
throw to Masterson. 2 down. Oh, that was some slick fielding by Nick Swisher.
And he got up quickly and got it to him. And, I mean, he led him over to first base. Nice play. He went over in the hole and made a stab. And then he slides down. And watch the lead throw to Masterson, who's getting over there in a hurry. And he didn't hesitate. He gives him a nice feed. There's the outfield look at it, and they get him easy. Good play. Look at, he knows.
Well done. Foul first baseline, barely. John Jaso 0 for 3 on the night. There's the wide on the 2-strike pitch. Liner to short, caught by Cabrera. Oh, man. They are throwing the leather around here in the 7th. First Swisher, then Cabrera. And it remains a 4-3 Indians lead as we've reached the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. On the back from his manager, Terry Francona. High fives all around, so looks like he's done his job tonight.
Sure has.
Going 7 strong.
7 strong is right.
Lonnie Chisenhall to lead off the home half of the 7th for the Tribe. Pops the first pitch up. Shallow left. Out goes Rosales. He's calling for it. Smith calls him off and makes the catch, and that's the way you like to see it executed from an outfield standpoint. All right, let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question once again. Okay, we had the big boppers, McGuire, Canseco, Giambi, Tejada. I ran out after that. How about
Dave
King Kong
yeah.
Kingman?
Uh-huh. He could hit him. But you were right there, Tejada, Giambi, Canseco. You just didn't go back far enough for King Kong.
I guess Reggie Jackson, I guess Sal Bando, and I was told on those. I remember back in the old days when they were not the Oakland A's, but the Philadelphia A's, Jimmy Fox, I think, had a couple of big monster back-to-back years in home runs. He might have hit 50 back in the old days, which back then would have been, 50?
Yeah, a lot.
Double X. Drew Stubbs, a little shallow pop into the outfield grass. Rosales, he'll get that one 2 away. Late innings are brought to you by Captain Morgan Rum. Raise a glass, always in moderation. Brantley with a line drive towards center field, a base hit. His second hit of the ball game. And the Indians keep the inning alive here in the 7th.
Well, the next Dollar Dog Night will take place Friday, the 17th. Seattle will be in town. You can load up on all your hot dogs all night long for $1.
Well, A.J. Griffin has been knocked out of the ball game here in the 7th. And Bob Melvin with today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. And we'll tell you who it is when we come back.
Two games for the price of one. You better come out to the ballpark on Monday. The Yankees will come to town. The Tribe will play a traditional doubleheader for those makeup games early in the year. First pitch will be 12:05 for game one. Ticket is good for both games. Traditional doubleheader. I can't even remember. Have we ever had one here? I don't remember it. I'm serious.
I'm sure we have.
I
Right?
don't remember. I always remember day-nighters. I don't remember a traditional doubleheader.
I think we
here.
have, but I couldn't pinpoint it.
We'll
for you.
have to. I'll get Popper on that. He'll answer it.
I still remember the craziest doubleheader I've ever been a part of was the two teams, two different
Chicago
teams.
and Minnesota.
Yeah. That was a
That's
day-nighter,
right.
of course. You had to get one team packed up
I
and out
remember
of
the
here.
bags were coming
Yeah.
in underneath. It was, that was strange. Cy was in the clubhouse over there then,
Well,
I believe.
I'm thinking that was my first year doing the games, 2000, on radio. Yeah. Because I think that was the same year we lost an entire series in Boston. The whole series was wiped out by rain. What a great jump by Brantley. Just stick that in your back pocket if you're Jaso. He had no chance. I mentioned earlier he's only thrown out 1 out of 12 base stealers, but, I mean, as you said, the pitcher's got to give you a chance, and he had no chance.
No, he just took off on first movement. He guessed right. And sometimes with a left-hander on the mound, you have the 1-run lead, you take a chance with 2 outs. You go on first movement. Now a base hit will score him. That's Michael's second this year.
Well, he gets himself into scoring position for Kipnis. And a line drive caught by Rosales. So he matches the effort by Cabrera earlier in the inning. And we go to the 8th, 4-3 Cleveland. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (4-3) Indians on top, going now to the 8th inning. And today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen brings on Joe Smith for the Tribe. He'll work the 8th inning. It's his 13th appearance of the year, an 0.84 ERA, 10 2/3 innings, a dozen punch-outs, 2 walks.
And he is now the 8th inning man with Pistano on the disabled list. And Terry says, that 7th inning, we'll mix and match, and we'll do what we have to do. But Masterson took care of the 7th inning because after they gave him the lead and they got on the board, his last 2 innings, he threw 19 pitches and 15 strikes. That's how good he was. And, of course, he had a couple of nice plays behind him.
Joe Smith with a strike to even the count at 1-1. A little bit too high, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Boy, Minnesota has taken it to Boston tonight. The Twins lead the Red Sox 12-6 in the fourth inning. They already have a dozen hits in that game.
They had like 11 runs after 2 innings.
Four runs in the first, 7 runs in the second for Minnesota.
Well, Boston came back and had a 5-run bottom half of the first.
So you're saying it's not over yet?
No, it's not. They'll be playing at 2 in the morning.
Line drive over the head of Cabrera this time in the gap. Cut off by Rayburn. And a good, strong throw, and that will hold Seth Smith to a leadoff single.
Well, he couldn't jump on that one. That ball was hit too hard. He didn't have time to jump. Smith, a nice low ball hitter. You can see that ball. He hit it right on the button.
So Jed Lowry steps to the plate. He has singled, walked, and grounded out.
That's 5 hits for Oakland, all singles. You remember they had 4 hits back in the fourth inning when they scored their 3 runs.
Over the outside corner. Usually, when you out-hit a team, you win. You know, normally that's kind of the way it plays out. But today in Pittsburgh, or was it in Seattle? Seattle and Pittsburgh were playing today. I'm not sure where that game was at. It was in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh out-hit Seattle 7-3, but Seattle got a solo homer to win it 2-1. Jesus Montero.
Well, the Indians won last night getting out-hit.
Yeah.
That was only their second win on the year. Oakland had 6, the Indians had 5, and it was a 1-0 ball game.
It's hard to do. Usually something odd has to happen for you to win a game if the other team out-hits you.
Yes,
Checked
he
to
did.
swing, but he went too far, and the home plate umpire rings him up. John Tumpain says, I don't need help. And I think it was a pretty obvious call. Jed Lowry disagrees, 1 away.
Well, you take a look, and he elevates it, belt high inside. He has to get it started if he wants to get it out of there, and he went.
Yeah.
There's nothing to complain about there. Well, there is when you're the hitter.
I'm sure.
Because you don't feel like you swung.
Yoenis Cespedes is 0 for 3. And he takes a called strike. Not including tonight. He's 0 for 3. But in the 9 games he's played since he has come off the disabled list, Cespedes has hit .289. In those 9 games, he's scored 9 runs. He's driven in 11. Gives you an idea just how valuable he is to this A's lineup. Chopped off of his foot and fouled. It's a great job by the A's scouting department. I mean, they went to Billy Beane and said, we have to get this guy. When he defected from Cuba, they had scouted him. They'd done all the background research they could. They said, quality character, incredibly hard worker, talented off the charts. We've got to get this guy.
A bigger market get him like it normally happens? They got him into this country pretty on the slide, didn't they?
Well, I mean, he defected.
Right.
But, I mean, the A's they jumped on him. And maybe it was a case where they had done more background work so they knew exactly what he was worth and how good he could be, and other teams didn't realize it. So maybe they didn't offer as much because they didn't know what they were really getting. I don't know, Rick. 2-2 pitch. Got him looking. Oh, Joe Smith paints the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th.
Yeah. You can't make a better pitch than that one right there. This is right on the knees on the outside corner. Cespedes knew it. That had a little comeback to it. And, boy, look at him. He's going to put the head down and walk away. Excellent pitch by Joe Smith.
And with 2 down, Brandon Moss, the batter. One for 3 with an RBI for Moss. Indians will shift for Moss. Smith gets it over the outside corner for strike one. Chisenhall starts out almost straight up at third. Now with one strike, he moves a little bit closer to short. Moss tried to check or hold up, but he was already halfway through his swing. Yeah,
he was caught in between. See, he wants to start, and then he wanted to hold it up and couldn't do it.
They're on their feet, better than 11,000 here tonight. Two-strike pitch hit in the air to center. Drew Stubbs, routine play. He makes the catch, and Joe Smith works a scoreless 8th inning. It remains 4-3 Cleveland. Light rain falling now here at Progressive Field. And the A's go back to their bullpen. Ryan Cook on for the 15th time this year, right-hander. Sean Doolittle, the lefty, came on, but he faced just one hitter in the 7th inning.
He got the out, but it was on a very good play by the shortstop, Rosales.
Stay tuned after the ball game for Indians Live. Brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. We have the highlights, analysis, and reaction from the clubhouse. It's all straight ahead. There's Dribble Cabrera 0 for 3 on the night. Also, don't forget, we've got one more game to go in this series, and it will be an afternoon affair tomorrow. We'll start at 12 o'clock. Indians Live will be on at 11:30. And then Rick and I will have the play-by-play beginning at noon. Scott Kazmir against Bartolo Colon. How about Boogie? Off to a great start. 3-1, 3.62 ERA for the A's.
Yeah, back to his former stomping grounds.
Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes.
Ryan Cook had a nice year last year. 25-year-old rookie. Ended up making the All-Star team. 6-2 with 14 saves. An ERA of 2.09. Opposition hit just 166 off him.
Baltimore leads Kansas City 5-3. They're in the 8th at Camden Yards. Royals could be headed to their 3rd straight loss unless they rally to overtake the O's. Baltimore has won 3 in a row. They started the night just a game back of Boston in the AL East. And a called strike evens the count at 2-2. Cardinals beat the Cubs earlier today, 5-4 at Wrigley. Two teams combined for 22 hits in that game. Cabrera strikes out. I still don't think he's 100% healthy. I think he's trying to fight through that side strain. A couple of home runs for the Indians back in the 6th inning.
That tied it. That gave him the lead.
Remember the other night when Cabrera swung and missed, and he was grabbing at his side a couple of different times? Well, you just get the feeling watching him, it may still be bothering him a little bit. Not enough to, knock you out of the game, keep you out of the lineup sort of thing. But it's one of those deals you just have to deal with as an everyday player. Nick Swisher takes its low, ball 1. Swisher and Santana both, those home runs, they combined for over 800 feet worth of home runs in that 6th inning. Both of them to straightaway center, both of them absolutely tattooed.
Both of them, it was almost the same pitch.
Yeah.
On both guys.
Slowly chopped by the mound. Second baseman Sogard off balance throw 2 away. In-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. And there you look at it. We talked about it. I mean, this was a well-pitched game on both sides, and the Indians, gift-wrapped 5th inning. They scored a pair, and then they brought the lumber company out in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that double play ball that wasn't turned gave them the extra run.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
the difference, really. I mean, when you think about it.
Well, that wind blowing straight in tonight. Now the rain is picking up a little bit, sending a lot of folks for cover. Starting out as just sort of a mist, but it's falling a little heavier now. Reynolds fouling it off, and the count 0-2. The pitch, and Reynolds a swing and a miss. Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the 9th. Tribe on top 4-3. Time brought to you by Miller Lite. Boy, the Indians had some great defense back in that 7th inning. Nick Swisher, terrific play, great feed.
Yeah, get the elevator to the top floor and make the play. Beautiful backhanded play by Cabrera. And that ended Masterson's night after 7 solid innings, 2 beautiful plays, and the Indians have been playing very good defense recently. Last 11 games, just 1 error.
Well, here is Chris Perez now, looking for his 5th save of the year. Get a pinch, or get Josh Donaldson here to start the bottom of the 9th. Then Derek Barton and Adam Rosales due up 3rd. Perez delivers, and it's popped up right near home plate. Santana looking up into that rain. Back to the screen. Can't quite get to it as he is upended by the Diamond Suite screen. I'll never forget the play Sandy Alomar made almost in that exact same spot where he went over the
he
that
screen.
Up.
Look at he was just he had to get there a little bit more, but that would have been just an awfully tough play, and it had to be timed perfectly. Tough when you're a catcher.
Well, I think I don't know how easy it is to pick up when you're a catcher, but that breeze is pushing it just enough away from me that you can't get to it. Oh, beautiful slider outside corner, and it's 0-2. The late Ron Kuntz, one of the best photographers in Cleveland sports history, had a great photo of Sandy Alomar upended over that screen, looked like Spider-Man.
I remember it well.
Donaldson goes down swinging, 1 away here in the 9th.
Well, when Chris has that slider working, he's awfully tough, and he gets him, expands the zone on Donaldson, and he chases it, and there's out number 1.
13 strikeouts for Perez in 11 1/3 innings of work.
That's double digits now for the Indians tonight. Masterson had 7, Smith had 2, Perez has 1.
Outside corner, a called strike. 0-2 the count. Indians Live comes your way following the ball game right here on Sports Time Ohio. The highlights. Al and Jason will break it down from the studio. Rick and I some final thoughts from here at the yard, and Katie will have interviews in the clubhouse. The 0-2 fouled over the screen. Two-strike pitch. Slider, and he fights it off to stay alive. The last time the Indians won 3 straight home series was April through May, early May of 2011. So it's been over 2 years. But they're 2 outs away from clinching a series win over Oakland and a chance to sweep the 4-gamer with the finale tomorrow. Derek Barton just got the call up today. Hit a 2-out, 2-run single in the 4th that gave Oakland at that point a 3-0 lead. Again, the 0-2. Rounded to first. Swisher has it. He'll take it himself. 2 down. And so Adam Rosales will be the batter, 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and reached back in the 4th inning. And a fastball in there for strike 1. The right-hander fires, and a slider just missing. The crowd, the ooh from the crowd, they wanted that one bad. And it's 1-1.
Yeah, you give them blue suits, and it'll only take 3 pitches, but.
The 1-1. High fly ball, deep left field. Brantley looking up, and it's off the top of the fence. Rosales stops at second base, and the A's are still alive as Rosales came within inches of tying this game up.
Boy, I thought he got it too, and that ball, you're right, it hit.
Bob Melvin's going to come
just
out
under
and
that yellow line.
Ask Angel Hernandez probably to go take another look at it on the replay. We'll see.
Well, you can't give it. It didn't. It looked like it hit the green part of it. He's going to ask for help, as they always do nowadays when they have the replay to look at. He'll see if anybody else saw it. It did stay in the park.
Hernandez conferring with the umpires, and almost every time when they get together, they go look at the replay.
They're going to go look. Watch.
Yep, they are. They're going to go take a look. So Perez will have to sit and wait with 2 outs. And now the tying run in scoring position here in the 9th inning. We'll take another look. Zoom in as close as we can.
Well, look at that pitch. Fastball came back up and in. Perez saying, please. He thought it was out of here, too, when he let it go. And you'll see that ball. Oh, it might be out of here. We may have a tie game.
That looked like
yes,
on the replay
sir.
it might have hit the railing above the yellow line.
I think it did. Yep.
Yeah, it sure
did. We're going to have a tie game.
Now, what the umpires are looking at, the feed that they will be looking at comes from New York. So they go inside, they call New York, and then they give them all the angles that they have. Now, we're televising tonight. So is Oakland, so they'll have as many different looks as our 2 television feeds give them. And I would imagine they're going to see that ball hitting above the yellow line off the railing.
It sure did. I didn't think so by first glance. I thought it hit off the padding. It did not. Looked like it hit the railing. They're going to come out, and we're going to have a tie ball game here, 4-4.
Waiting now on the umpires, and they want to make sure they get it right, so you don't know how many different angles they want to look at to make sure they have definitive evidence.
I'm sure they do.
I was watching a game in Cincinnati. It took just over 3 minutes to review a fair foul home run call down the line. Usually it doesn't take them that long. I mean, they've got the
well, that was tough to see
up
because you never really saw the ball hit. It was above the yellow line, though. I thought it hit the railing and came straight back.
The umpires have been looking at the replays for just over 2 minutes. Well, they've been gone from the field for 2 minutes. You assume that video is there almost instantaneously the minute they get into that room. We'll take one more look at it before the umpires come back. And as you zoom in, it appears that it hits the railing above the yellow line.
Yes, it did.
All Adam Rosales can do is wait.
Well, he'll get the
Same
jog
goes
home.
for Chris Perez. And the crowd getting a little anxious. They want to hear.
Well, they're not going to.
They won't like it when they hear it, but
they won't like what they're going to hear.
We're at 3 minutes now.
Here they come.
Here come the umpires. Angel Hernandez signals second base. Here comes Bob Melvin. Now, you're not allowed to come out and argue after that. But Bob Melvin comes out, wants an explanation, and I got to tell you, just from what we saw, he's been ejected from the game.
Well, I can see why, because I'm sure he watched a replay too before he does that, and you're right. Well, you said definitive evidence. And,
now maybe they had a different angle that showed something differently, but from what we saw, it sure looked like that ball hit the railing. So the Indians...
I think the Indians caught a huge break.
It would appear that way. And Bob Melvin is stomping mad, and he's been ejected from the game.
I would be too.
Let's
if he sees a replay, and there you'll see, it looked like it hit the railing. In my eyes. I mean,
it sure does.
Okay, well, that's a break for the Indians, and now he's still got to get the third out.
In there for a called strike. Ball gets away, and down to third goes Rosales. And it's actually hit him on the foot, so he's got to go back to second base, and Sogard's going to be at first. Take another look.
It's that slider going down. He had a good slider early. That got him right on the foot.
Well, that's why it got away.
Yes.
You could see it get redirected. Two on, two out. John Jaso, the batter, 0 for 4 on the night. And a fastball strike over the outside corner. Oh, that looked like a strike, and Santana threw it to second. There was nobody there, but Cabrera was behind the bag. But I think because Santana came up out of his crouch, you don't get the strike call there. That ball looked like it was right down the middle of the plate. Fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. A little bit outside. White knuckler here tonight in the ninth. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Fouled right back. And Jaso hanging tough.
Jaso, he has a good eye at the plate. He's not afraid to take a walk. He's fouled off a couple of tough pitches. He is battling to stay alive. With Oakland hopes alive, they thought they had the game tied up.
Perez eyes his target. He deals. It's fouled by Jaso and redirected off the umpire's foot.
He's a tough out, man. He just gets a piece. I didn't see it, but enough to get away from the glove, go right down into the ground, and live for another pitch.
Now the 2-2. Another foul. He just got a piece of back-to-back pitches. And that one nailed Santana. So this slider got him on the instep.
Yeah, got him down on the foot. And he's just staying alive.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And the 2-2 is a little bit outside and a full count. So now the runners will be off with 2 out here in the ninth. That's the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first. Perez with the payoff pitch. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. And so this ninth inning continues, a ninth inning that started with 2 outs, nobody on base, and Adam Rosales nearly tying the game with a ball that, at least on review, on the replay angle, appeared to hit above the yellow line off that railing in left field. But the umpires went, they reviewed it, and they claimed that from whatever video angles that they had or replays that they had, the ball did not hit above the yellow line. So Rosales was at second. Bob Melvin came out to argue. And it's in the instant replay rules that if you argue after the replay, you're ejected, and that's what happened. Now, Seth Smith, 2 hits on the night, takes strike 1. Bases loaded, 2 down, 0-1 pitch. Right back to Perez. He'll take it all the way, and the ball game is over. Chris Perez nails down the save, nail-biting fashion. And the Indians have won the first 3 to take the series against Oakland, and now a chance to sweep tomorrow afternoon in the series finale. A wild ninth inning, a little controversy mixed in, but it's the Indians who prevail 4-3. The final here tonight. The Indians have now won 9 out of 10, 12 out of their last 16. They're 3 games above 500. And for the moment, 2.5 games in back of front-running Detroit in the suddenly tight AL Central Division standings. Time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Boy, and was it ever a key play in the ninth inning. 2 outs, trying to get out of this inning. Rosales hits a ball off the left field wall. Looked like it hit the wall and come back in. He got a double. They went in to review it. But from that replay, looks like it got above that yellow line and hit the railing and comes back into play. They did not overturn it, however. That did hit the railing. It came back. They catch a huge break. Perez, there you'll see. You stay on second base, and he's thinking, oh, my goodness, look how close I was. And the Indians stay on. Melvin was ejected. You're not allowed to argue it, but he has every right to be a little angry. That is going to be our key play replay. And visit your local KeyBank branch for low rates on a home equity or auto loan. Certain conditions apply. See your branch for details.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy ball game at the end here tonight. But the Indians win it 4-3. All's well that ends well, as they say. We're back with some final thoughts right after this.